Hello, I'm glad you joined me for this video on finding the domain of a rational function. Now remember, the domain of a function in general is the set of all values of x that can be plugged into the function so that it is defined. With a rational function, that means that we need to find all the values of x for which the denominator is not 0, and that will be our domain. In order to do that, we start by finding the values of x that possibly make the denominator 0 and be sure to not include those in our domain. Now, it's important that you work with the denominator of the original function. There'll be other things later on about rational functions for which we'll want to simplify the fraction if it does simplify, but we don't want to do that for the domain. So let's get started. We have our denominator of x cubed minus 16x, and we want to find out where that's 0. This is factorable. Factor out the greatest common factor of x, and we have x times x squared minus 16, and then that's equal to 0. X squared minus 16 is the difference of two squares, so we can continue to factor that as x plus 4, x minus 4, and then set each factor equal to 0, and solve each equation for x. So x equals 0, x equals negative 4, x equals positive 4. So those are the values that we cannot include in our domain. Now when we state the domain, there are a couple different ways that we can state it. One way is just to say all reals except 0, negative 4, and 4, but we want to state it in interval notation. So with interval notation, as you look at it, you want to do the interval from smallest up to largest. And we're just needing to not include the 0, the negative 4, and the 4. So we're going to go from negative infinity to whichever in the list of our x values that we don't want to include would come first. And so that is our x equal negative 4. That's the smallest of the x values that we can't use. So we are going to go negative infinity to negative 4, put a parenthesis on that to show that you can't include negative 4, union, pick up on the other side of negative 4, comma, the next number in line in size is our 0. So then we'll go negative 4 to 0, parenthesis, union, pick up on the other side of 0, off to 4, parentheses, union, and then pick up on the other side of 4 and off to infinity. And that's the domain of this rational function.